Back with us now, Fox News contributor and former acting ICE director Tom Homan. Tom, yet another story, yet another car crash, dangerous illegal immigration. This is what's happening at the border. 54 illegal immigrants dead, 105 injured. A tractor trailer overturns in Mexico. The death toll could rise. Tom, this is like a mass casualty event. What do you say?
Oh, absolutely. I've been saying open border brings more death. And look, I've said it on your show before, in the Trump administration, when he was building the wall, when he had to remain in Mexico, he had Title 42. When illegal immigration was down by 83%, illegal immigration was at a 35-year low. Many lives were saved. I just got done signing this. I actually wrote a book about this 2 years ago, Defend the Border, Save Lives. It's just not a catchphrase. I spent my career doing this, and the reason I wrote the book about it because a secure border saves lives. We've proven it. Under Biden administration, open border, I talked to one sheriff who's found over 60 dead bodies in his county in South Texas. We know several hundred have perished on the U.S. side so far this year, and that's not counting the hundreds who die making the trek through Mexico, the hundreds that die through the Darien Gap. When you open the border up and you know you won't be detained, you know you'll be released, you know that ICE have been decapitated, they're talking about an amnesty plan, they're talking about free health care. When you offer these incentives and shut down border enforcement, they're going to come. The most vulnerable people in the world are going to make that trip, and many, many of them won't make it.
It's an important point you're making. You know, so there's that story, and then you have the Border Patrol in the El Centro sector of Texas reporting an increase in the number of illegals and human smugglers coming in with guns, armed human smugglers. Agents are seizing multiple pistols and rifles during traffic stops and more. It seems to be on the rise. Your word on this?
That's an extension of what we're just talking about. When the border's open and thousands of people are hiring organizations to get here, look, these organizations are making billions of dollars smuggling people. The more people they move, the more money they make. So this has become almost like the drug trade. Smugglers are ripping each other off for their loads. So, you know, smugglers are arming themselves. This is a lot of money at play right now because it's open border. I've said it on your show before. No one celebrated the Biden victory more than the criminal cartels in Mexico, because they knew he was going to open the border up. They knew he'd stop enforcement on the border, and they're open for business. This is a big money business, and they're carrying weapons to protect their assets.
And, you know, we have the Texas governor, Governor Abbott. He's continuing to take steps to secure the border, notably in Eagle Pass, a wall of cargo, shipping containers, and more, using that as a makeshift wall. This is the point we want to get to. Texas DPS, the troopers continue to arrest migrants for criminal trespassing on property and ranches north of the river. They're just seeing widespread destruction by illegal immigrants. And, you know, the city of Yuma declaring a state of emergency because of the humanitarian crisis. They're seeing a surge in crossings. Your word on that?
First of all, I want to take credit for the cargo containers. I actually brought that idea to the governor a couple months ago because you can pile them on top of each other. You can make the walls big as you want. You can use the containers to store equipment for the National Guard and DPS. You can use the open containers for processing. I thought it was a great idea, so I'm glad he picked up on it. But look, the governor of Texas is a patriot. I don't care what people think about him. He's defending the state of Texas. He's protecting the Texas citizens, and he's protecting the entire nation. I've been down the border 5 times this year. 95% of these people are not staying in Texas. They're going all over the country. We have over 100,000 deaths from fentanyl overdoses. Fentanyl is coming across the border because the border's open. The governor's actions, they're seizing a lot of fentanyl, they're seizing a lot of black tar heroin, they're seizing a lot of cocaine. They've arrested a lot of criminal aliens, some convicted of homicide, child predators. He's doing a lot for the state of Texas, but he's doing a lot for the United States. He's doing what the federal government is failing to do under the Biden administration.
Yeah, and
he should be the Secretary of Homeland Security, Governor Abbott.
Yeah, that's an interesting point you make. You know, it's about the states doing what they need to do to protect themselves, but the federal government saying we have control over federal immigration policy. Your word on that? We always thought it's going to be a Supreme Court fight. You got 10 seconds.
There's a Supreme Court fight coming because I'm actually working with the governor on the Constitution and using the parts of the Constitution so he can actually enforce immigration law. We're in that conversation now.
Interesting.
We're looking at it. It's coming.
Tom Homan, Thank you for your service to our country. Come back soon.